when you're sitting at home trying to have a nice dinner with your partner and you're at the computer desk doing the pricing or organising the subbies for the next day, that is not free time. That has to be built out. As your company gets bigger, when you're doing everything, your profit margins are extremely high and you've got minimal expenses. But then as you grow more team, your expenses go up, your profitability comes down, and it's a little bit of a scary thought because you're like, man, is this a sinking ship? When I made my first video, it was like 2021 or something, I don't know. Back then it was just me doing 2 jobs a week. Now we're delivering 140 a month, which is pretty cool. I remember losing $2,500 on a $6,000 bathroom, and that was painful. I was there on a Thursday night drilling screw holes into the wall, and I was like, fuck, I'm working for free right now. Damn it, bro, I don't want to lose money again.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Owen Chambers here from The Professional Builder. We're here for another episode of The Builder's Ladder, joined by David Baker. What's up, brother?
Hey, bro. How's it, man? Good morning in Singapore with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to have you here, man. Good to have you here. We had a workout, had breakfast, and now we're here.
And a couple coffees.
Couple of espressos.
Nice, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
And you're flying off to Dubai, and then you're up to the UK?
Yeah, man. I'm going to go and do the hard UK launch. I said to our content guy, first video we're doing, mate, 7 a.m. fucking Friday. I don't care if it's -1. We're heading to Big Ben.
Yeah.
We're just going to do a hard launch, get the DJI mics out, and let them know we're here, bro. So
exciting,
it's good, man.
So friend of the pod, friend of The Professional Builder. We've had a couple of podcasts together already.
Yeah, man.
And if you haven't already, go back and watch and listen to those episodes, because we're going to, I think, break down today a bit more around not where you've been, because you've done that already with us, but more like where you're at and where RapidQS is going. And then like unpack some of the questions and queries around estimating pricing and profit zones as well. Because
easy, man.
Like I know we were talking before and you said like the biggest question, so let's get it out of the way straight away, is definition of P&Gs.
Bro,
like what is
every month, man, every month. And I was like, I'm not saying everyone else doesn't know as much as me, but when I first started, I was never charging for vehicle charges.
Yep.
I was never charging for my time. I was never charging for project management, site management, pricing time, all of that stuff. So like I feel like we could rinse and repeat this until I die, but P&Gs is something that has to go into every single building project. It's everything that's not a material, not a labor, and it's not a sub-trade, but it's all those other key items. So when you're sitting at home, and you're trying to have a nice dinner with your wife or your partner and you're at the computer desk doing the pricing or organising the subbies for the next day, that is not free time. That's not a Christmas present or $150 gift voucher to your client. Like that has to be built out. So I told Owen this morning, we're going to do another piece on that. I'm going to do a free value pack, and it's going to be what you should be charging on P&Gs for a job, 0 to 50K, 50 to 150, 150 to 500, 500 to 1.5. Because my theory is, since day one, is the more money I can help builders make, the more they're going to use us and trust us. So
100%.
I'll do some free value packs on the plane tonight.
Nice. Well, I mean, like high margin businesses win, and ultimately, like as a building company, you got to make sure that every one of your projects is profitable. And one of the best ways to do that is include everything in your price.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Let's unpack that a little bit more.
Cool.
Are we looking at P&Gs through the lens of like a percentage of build cost, or are we looking at through just like a bunch of line items and just price them for what they are? Yeah,
great question. I think for sanity checks, we kind of look at a percentage. So I think for a new build, you roughly look anywhere between 8 to 10%. I think 9's about the common.
Sure.
But for small things like a bathroom that's $25,000 to $35,000, I can give it to you line by line. The first one I always put is like site admin or pricing time, and I'll put if it's a bathroom, 30 grand, I'm putting a fee in for $150.
And is that day rate or hour rate?
That's just a one-off fee, because I know by the time if you call me to travel to your house for 20 minutes, and this is something that we hand out to builders all the time that don't quote for free packs, but it's like, I'm going to spend 20 minutes in the car, I'm going to spend 25 to 40 minutes on site with you, then I got to drive back home, then I got to price it up, then I got to send it off.
Yeah.
And then you're charging a vehicle charge on top of that, and then you've got to allow for tires, rucks, and diesel. There's so much shit, man.
100%. Vehicle costs, phone bill, insurances, admin time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So to give it to you line by line for a bathroom that runs for 6 weeks, I usually price a bathroom full strip out and redo. I allow roughly 1 week per trade.
Yeah.
So builders, plumbers, Sparky, tiler, waterproof or whatever, plaster painter. So 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going site admin charge and a QS fee, one at 150. A site signage fee. I want you to do some advertising. Now that could be a reused sign that you've got in the container, little polycarbonate thing, 6x6. $75 for 120. I'm going to put your project management time. Let's just assume you've got 2 boys on the tools. So you're not on the tools, but I guarantee every day You're calling the boys in the morning, you're organizing some shit, you're dropping a sheet of jib off, you're going to go back, talk to the client, they're not happy with the tiles, you've got to go back, drop it off, pick it up. Minimum hour a day, minimum.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe 2.
Yeah.
So round that up, 10 hours a week, 40 hours over the job, and put that at your rate. So that could be $60 or $70, okay? So there's $2,000. Then we're putting a skip bin in there if it's a full demolition. I mean, rubbish has gone through the roof. Maybe not a 9 cubic meter, but a 3 cubic meter.
Yep.
180 to 250, something like that. Vehicle charge, I know that the builders are usually on site for 5 solid days and then it's subbies. So I wouldn't usually always charge for the subbies vehicle charges because if they're going to send you a lump sum quote, they're probably going to package that in there.
Yep.
But for you as a project manager, you're going to be there at least 3 times in the first week and then you're going to be heading back once or twice every other week managing it. So I might put 10 vehicle charges in at $35 to $45 depending how far you're going. And then the other stuff, I'll put some site admin or some administration stuff on the back end. That might just be for your invoicing time, dealing with clients, admin, etc. I mean, shit, if you want to go into detail and go Hazard Co, health and safety site board, $400 or $500, stuff like that. So the list goes on for P&Gs, man. Portaloos, all sorts of stuff.
Site fencing,
Site fencing, and another one as well. Anytime you step inside a client's house, there's a scratch wall, a damaged door, a scratched tile, piece of timber. So please go and get some old carpet, straps, tape something down on the floor, put some plastic floor coverings over.
Yes.
That's all P&Gs, man.
Yeah, so good. Nice.
Yeah, P&Gs, you can forget a lot of shit, man. It's I still feel like every job I'm adding in more and more P&Gs. And every time I talk to a new builder or they send us something on Instagram or we get some feedback, I'm like, damn, we could add that in as well. That could be edited. So it's like, for that and extensions and renovations or site access, niggly site, you can't get a concrete pump down, site barrowing. Do you have a wheelbarrow? Go buy a wheelbarrow. Someone's got a Mitre 10.
And ultimately, you're there to build it, not to finance it. So what's really important is a lot of builders can sometimes get hung up on, cheapest, this is going to cost a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be blowing out and people are going to be way cheaper than this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is the cost of
running your business
and the project.
It's so hard. I think at my peak, and I think this is where it was good, I was in the trenches, but quoting, 60 to 90 jobs a month, that's when I really got my digital marketing going, first started. Yes, a lot of people would be like, this is too expensive, I'm going to go with the cheaper price. And I would always just send a cheeky email and be like, okay, cool, I'll follow up in 8 weeks and we'll see if the builder was still there at the end of the job.
Yeah.
Now, not saying I'm the world's best builder because I definitely wasn't, but I felt like after I went through my couple of years of turmoil and lost a shitload of money, I got really, really good at managing costs on jobs. So I pretty much knew that when I was doing the same job, I pretty much knew exactly what this shit would cost.
Yeah.
And if a client said, hey, sorry, we've had a quote $5,000 cheaper than yours, I'll be like, set up a scheduled email in 8 weeks. Hey, just touching base. How did old John the builder from South Auckland get on with that job? Blah, 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 blah. And yes, cool. He might have finished it all good, but I don't think he made money.
No, 100%. Success is not a very good teacher. Usually scar tissue. Failure is a far better teacher. So, I hear you, man.
Absolutely. And I didn't really get that good at pricing until I'd got, lost all that money. So that's when I remember losing $2,500 on a $6,000 bathroom, and that was painful because I was there on a Thursday night, drilling the screw holes into the wall for the tower row into tiles, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm working for free right now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn it, bro, I don't want to lose money again."
No, 100%.
Yeah. So that was me, man. But P&Gs is a killer. I probably need to do a full long form podcast on that. To be fair, I should do it.
We'll have you back.
Cool, man.
So good. Okay, so P&Gs, that's out of the way. That's your most common question that you get asked.
Absolutely.
We've knocked that one off. What I want to do now is I want to unpack where RapidQS is, where it's going, and kind of what it's been like growing that business. What is leadership lessons you've learned, recruitment, systems, process, team, things like that. So walk us through. What territories are you in? What services do you offer? And who do you normally do work for?
Yeah, cool, man. I don't know when I made my first video. I'm pretty sure it was 2021 or something. I don't know. But back then it was just me pricing. I was probably doing 2 jobs a week in the very early days. I think now we're delivering 140 a month, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great.
So currently NZ's still leading the charge with maybe 90 to 110 projects a month. I've got a general manager, Mario, and then we've got 4 QSs full-time, 1 to 2 contractors. Jamie's running the ship in Aussie. 3 full-time QSs, 1 to 2 contractors helping out. So if you were to split it into kind of zones, there's obviously the Aussie team, the NZ team, delivery.
Yep.
And then there's probably marketing. So there's myself, Evan, and Tenzin. So Evan's like our high-level marketing consult. And to be brutally honest, that's probably been the hardest hire to get my head around.
Sure.
They kind of come in as a high-level consultant. They do 15 to 20 hours a week. But as I was telling you this morning, for me, it's been super painful because there's no hard deliverables on their like role. Like for me, coming from a building background or QS, it's like I know today I have to finish two QS reports and that generates X amount of revenue.
Yeah.
The marketing guy's been on board for a year and yes, they like deliver on projects, but it's like, cool, we've set up at the moment we're setting up an EDM of like campaigns in our newsletters and we aim to get X amount of leads off that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like a hard deliverable. It's hard. And it's nothing against Evan. He's fucking cool. I call him Captain America, super smart, awesome dude. But I find it hard to resonate with. So that's been a real hard hire, but Evan's good and it's paying off.
Yeah. And I suppose that's like the stages of business that you go through, right? So like moving into all these different territories, it's normally like a who, not a how problem.
Yeah.
Like who can we partner with? Who can we, enroll into the mission and into the vision?
Staying relatable with a builder. Sorry, I just thought this could relate. It would be like if you're project managing 2 teams of 2 within your building company, but then you need to go full-time. You're doing 20 hours of project management and 20 hours of sales.
Yep.
But your boys are getting quicker and better and more efficient, so you have to do more sales.
Yep.
But now you're hiring a project manager and you're like, fuck. Are they doing a good job?
Yeah.
Are they stuffing it up? Are they remembering to call the client at the end of every day to touch base?
Yeah.
Have they got the right materials or are they at home mucking around? Like
totally, yeah.
But you've got to try and let go.
That's where a lot of our members do the same page plan. So does what it says on the tin. It gets everybody onto the same page. And it's like, hey, this is where the business was, this is where the business is, and this is where the business is going. So as you kind of like move off of the tools and onto site management and then off of site management into business management and then out of business management into ownership sort of thing, and you go through the builder's ladder, you're going to ideally not abdicate responsibility, but delegate responsibility or delegate outcomes to the people, and so that you can elevate, delegate to elevate. But
delegate to elevate.
Delegating.
Tongue twister, man.
Yeah. Being able to delegate that stuff comes back to like everybody buying into the vision of where the company's at and where the company's going. And then buying in and seeing against a scoreboard or a scorecard of like whether we're on track or off track. So, again, the example of the sites, like as you step away from site, the vision is the business that you're building, like exquisite homes, like to a certain timeline, quality standard, and ideally like profit zone and budget sort of thing. But then that's like the vision of what kind of expectations and standards the company holds. And then the scorecard is probably like very specific timeline, either by day or by week. Quality standard, ideally by not just industry standard, because we know that's probably lower than we would ideally want your jobs to be done by. And then ultimately, like, is it profitable? Are we making money? And like sharing that scorecard with the team, like really helps to empower them and so that they know whether they're on track or off track. Otherwise, you abdicate responsibility rather than delegate it, and you just leave them to run the site, and then you poke your head back and you're like, guys, what?
Yeah, nothing's done properly.
It's like the Mumbai bus driver example, right?
Shout out Mumbai. I think, it's hard to kind of let go, but then the other side is, I think you're always worried about like finances. Like you're paying that person, you're hoping for an outcome, and essentially, as your company gets bigger, when you're doing everything, your profit margins are extremely high because you're a one-man wrecking crew and you've got minimal expenses. But then as it's a hard one, man. I still struggle with this one to wrap my head around it. But as you grow more team, your expenses go up, your profitability comes down, and it's kind of a little bit of a scary thought because you're like, man, is this a sinking ship or what's going on?
Hard out. And that's like a financial visibility piece as well, right? So we do with our members, like your revenue should track up ideally.
Yeah.
Relatively predictably, because you should be invoicing by stage claim or by milestone or by week sort of thing. So in theory, you should be able to track your revenue like that.
Yeah.
In theory, you should be able to match your gross profit, relatively accurately, because it's ideally 20% or 25 or 35 or whatever project.
Yeah, depending on what you're in.
So your revenue at the top, your gross profit along the next part, but then your net profit, as you say, is going to roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like that. And it's about bridging the gap between the two peaks and going like, I need to invest into vehicle, software, insurance, phone bill, all the stuff that we've talked about going in P&Gs. And that's going to reduce your net profit.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to get back up there? Is it going to be either growing into the new systems and growing into new people, or is it going to be downward cost pressures on like trimming the fat and not getting bloated?
Yeah.
And it's normally both. Yeah. All of the above.
Man, just you putting it like that, it's like ebbs and flows, man. Because
100%, it's roller coaster.
Yeah,
but ideally, the roller coaster is on the net profit, not on the top line and the gross profit. They should be relatively tracking.
Yeah,
you know, because you got a good marketing process, good sales process, a good estimating method, so you don't go backwards. Yeah, shit like that.
And you're making money on every job.
So, RapidQS is, dude, love what you're doing and love how you're growing. You're going to the UK.
Yeah.
Well, what's the strategy and the plan there?
Man, I feel like I tell everyone on the team, I feel like I got lucky in NZ. I felt like I was like on the ground doing
hard work pays off, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then we like moved to Aussie. Aussie's been a little bit slower. Aussies are real lazy. No offense to the Aussies, but like in New Zealand, no shit. In New Zealand, we'll get an inquiry, send a quote out within half an hour or whatever, and we usually get an acceptance within 2 to 4 hours. Aussie's like 2 to 4 days.
Yeah,
it's
true.
Wild. I don't know, man. They got hotter girls and nicer beaches. So kudos to them being out there. The UK, we're just taking a bit of like NZ, what's worked well, a little bit of Aussie, what's worked well. But essentially, it's just going to be myself and Brendan. He's like my kind of personal content man. We're just going to go do a bit of like a soft launch, no real massive strategy. I've been fortunate enough to have 2 guys that we used to be builders in Auckland. They're over there now, and they've always kept in touch and said, whenever you're ready to come over, you can come and like they know what I need to deliver. So, man, Friday morning, just going to go jump in a site shed with them. I think we're looking at like a 200K loft conversion over there, which would be sick. So I just said, man, I'll just come and give you some time. Do some pricing for them, talk to some subbies, do some negotiations, maybe price a couple bathrooms, couple renovations, smaller stuff.
Yep.
So I just want to get back on the tools, back on the sheets, and I'll just have my man Brennan there chopping it up.
So good.
Essentially, it's all I'm really doing is going back to early days, RapidQS 2023 or whatever it was, 2022, but I'm just going to have Brennan there doing all the editing for me. So, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I feel like that was probably when I enjoyed it the most, bro. It was just me do my post, I'll do my job every night, go down to the Hilton Hotel, get a Diet Coke, smash out a job, make a splice video, cut it up, put it on Instagram, send it to 100 builders until I got the 24-hour block, and then wake up the next morning. Did I have any jobs? Maybe yes, maybe no.
Awesome.
So 2 to 3 weeks up there, see how it goes. And then I feel like we've got like all our social media stuff pretty dialed in right now. So we've got our like couple of key pieces of content which we'll run ad spends on in different regions, regional targeted content like we were talking about this morning.
So good. So what's the like with a growing company like that, it can be a bit of a roller coaster, and it can be, like highs and the lows of making sales, not making sales, gain traction, not gain traction, having team members join, team members leave. What are like some of the core principles or tenets or values that you guys try and display at RapidQS?
Are you a business owner running a residential construction company? If so, save the date. On Thursday and Friday, May the 22nd and the 23rd, we're running our Builders Summit at the Park Hyatt in Auckland. It's the biggest business summit for building company owners in the country. Across 11 expert sessions, we'll show you exactly how to either tweak or overhaul and transform your business into a profitable, streamlined building company. You'll get access to breakthrough strategies that have already helped over 3,000 of our residential members grow their businesses. Plus, just by being in the room, you get over $2,500 in extra bonus resources that you can implement into your business. We've got 100 seats. Many of those are reserved for our members, but you might be able to claim one of the few remaining. What you need to do is go to www.builderssummit.co.nz or click the links below and we'll take you directly there.
Yeah, I think within the team, we all know, I love using the word ebbs and flows, but I always know that when we're having like real good times, that's to prepare for when times get shit. January and February, I feel like are really, really tough. I don't think I've ever made money in January for some weird reason. You always come off the back of Christmas. We're not like a subscription-based business. Builders might be still on holiday. There's a lot of long weekends. Sales usually a little bit slower. And guys have taken a heap of annual leave, so we've got to pay out all that. So, man, core principles. I think we always know that when good times are good, roll with it, enjoy it. But when times are hard, there's probably a lot of less like super positive talk, and it's more just like get in the trenches, get it done. I don't know if that's like the best company culture stuff, but I think everyone knows when to like pull their socks up and just tune out the QS reports.
100%.
Go back to what like really, really works for us. Like aim to get a 5-star Google review on every single job when times are shit. And we probably slack on that when times are good because we're like, fuck yeah, we're cool, we're the best in the game.
Yeah.
But when times are bad, it's like you kind of want everyone to sort of feel like, fuck, this ship could be sinking, man. We better knuckle down,
Yeah, for sure.
Don't know if,
Well, at TBB, we got 4 main ones. So it's health and wealth.
Yeah.
And that's like a real internal one because we want people that are like, we have a phrase, you don't have business problems, you got life problems.
Yeah.
Like you're going to bring those problems into business
you guys are so locked in on your internal shit, man. I've learned so much off you this morning. It's good, man.
Nice, yeah. So like you don't have business problems, you got life problems. And so you got to really make sure you're happy at home. Otherwise you can't be happy, in the team. So health and wealth is one of our first ones. Next is world class, like really making sure that things that we do are to a world class standard. Yeah. And that's more just like, there's that famous James Clear quote, you don't rise to the level of your motivation, you fall to the standard of your systems. It's like really dialing in like world-class systems for our members and ourselves. It's member transformation. So it's ultimately results. Like we only exist as the professional builder to get our members results. Like it's fundamentally all we do. Yeah. So like how do we speed to result? How do we help our members get to a result as quickly as humanly possible?
Yeah, nice.
Like really dialing that in, and then it's grow or die. Because like if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, by definition, like, there is no stagnant. It's decay.
Yeah. Otherwise, someone else is coming up against you. And
exactly. Yeah. Like you got to be looking for ways to improve, and it's kind of like that grow or die one. Yeah, is similar to what you're talking about there. Yeah. And that like if we're not making progress, then like what's going on?
Yeah,
because we're going backwards. Yeah, because the market's going up 10% a year. So if we're growing 10% a year, we're actually stationary.
Yeah.
So we've got to be growing at least.
True. Yeah, I suppose you've probably just sprung something on my mind. I told everyone at the end of last year, I want everyone to double their income this year.
Yep.
So like, that's the key play for everyone. So, whether that's someone going and only tuning out 6 QS reports a week, but because they're getting more efficient and they're better, they can do 8 to 10. Well, there'll be a bonus for that person.
Totally.
Or the people's on sales and commissions, like, if they're signing up 100 QS reports a month instead of 80, they're going to make more money. So, and I felt like for me, I think we've still got a shitload of untapped territory within NZ and Oz, but I feel like when you grow a team, you can do more stuff. So I was like, man, I want to grow. And yeah, I see it as like a 15K investment, go to the UK, spend 3 weeks there. If it works, cool. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like you got to have a crack at shit,
100%, dude. Yeah. I mean, again, like who's the bloke from LinkedIn? I don't know. He's got a famous quote around like, as a business owner, you got 4 points of leverage: money, media, people, and process. So like, rather than rolling up your sleeves and getting stuck in with these 2 things, you can only achieve so much. But what you should really like lean into is like money. So you got point of leverage via money. We all know that from like getting mortgages and things like that.
For sure, man. We sold the dream to get a mortgage.
Point of leverage. People. You can grow out your team. Process. You can grow out your process or how to do shit. And then media. And you've done such a good job of media. You're everywhere. Like I open up my phone, I'm on Insta Snaps, and it's goddamn David Baker
he's everywhere, man.
I know, right? So you do a very good job of like that point of leverage of like getting your media, and walk me through the team and the infrastructure you've got around that. So you've got somebody kind of following you around, like you're in the trenches, you're doing it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I manage all the inbox stuff. Like literally as soon as I wake up, man, it's like TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, and like what's the other one? Gmail, like all the notifications for socials. So I don't know, man. Like I feel like if you were talking about all your 4 pillars, like I'm probably heavily leveraged on the media and the people. The systems, culture stuff, I've got to probably do quite a bit of work on. But the content stuff is like volume. A lot of people are like, oh, I want quality over quantity. I'm kind of like, I need to do quantity to get my quality. Like I need to throw a heap of shit out and then just see what works. And right now the council stuff's popping off. So I'm going to throw more energy to that. But I'll still go through and post the conversations or replies to stuff in the DMs, because man, I think I posted something last night, like builders, what do you prefer, seeing your like cladding and internal linings off like square meters or sheets? And another guy came in and said, hey bro, I think like for commercial, sheets is really, really good, but square meters for resi is way better to measure because there's more wastage in resi. Commercial is more tailored out just for longer walls, simplified like stud heights. There's no like, 2.480 or 2.5, it's all 2.4 or 2.380. So I was like, fuck, that's actually really smart. Post other people's information to the page. I want it to be seen as like a bit of an information channel. But yeah, this year I like hired Brendan full-time. He's like my full-time content guy. I said by the end of the year, I want 10,000 IG and YouTube subs, personal brand. That's purely just because I want to catch up with RapidQS. So yeah, he helps me clip a lot of stuff up. And I just think whenever someone asks me a question, like David Baker or RapidQS, I'm always thinking, I'm not just going to write to them in a reply. I'll sit down and make a YouTube video about it and then send them the link. Because if I can help that one guy, there's probably another 10 people out there that will find that.
100%.
So that was like, to me, that was just like leveraging, instead of replying to the same message to 10 different people, I was like, fuck, may as well make a YouTube vid.
Yeah.
And that came from Luke Kemmy's Keep the Change. He was just like, whenever someone's asked a question, he just goes YouTube link, watch this, post it to a story. And it's just like, poof. So
nice, man.
That's how what I've tried to lock into.
Yeah. And then any other territories that you're going to go into, or just double down on New Zealand, Australia, UK?
Yeah, NZ, Oz, UK. Like UK will have a crack. I feel obviously quite fortunate. Our business models we can kind of do remotely, so it's a little bit easier. Would love to try and do the US, but I can't measure in feet and inches yet. So I'll see. I might have to go back to QS school, man. But no, we'll see how we go, man. I just want to try and double what we're doing in NZ and Oz in the next 12 months. Get UK off the ground and then figure it out. But
nice.
World domination's the plan. So
what does that look like for you? Like what does world domination kind of look like?
Man, I think I've just had I was saying my grandfather recently passed away. He was an absolute G, man. 1,000 employees at his peak. And I feel like I said to grandma, man, if I can just have a % of what he had, that'd be the dream. So I think for me I want to be able to like fly to each place, be able to meet up with 2 or 3 people, have opportunities to go and meet people and do stuff. And probably not so much about like the money, probably just more the opportunity and man, real personal level, I just want to have good stories for the grandkids. Like I just want to be like, this guy did heaps of shit. He had a few fuck ups, had a few wins, but I just like doing shit, man. So
well, you're going about it the right way to make him proud.
Yeah,
I see on the outside.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So that's kind of my angle for world domination. I think it'd be cool to have the biggest like trade media brand. And just be the most trusted for helping builders make more money, really.
So good.
That's the play.
I think what you said before around like building a vehicle that allows your team to double their income as well, because you can't do that without providing some serious value to your clients.
Yeah, man.
Like, seriously, like, you'd have to be a phenomenal solution to a phenomenal number of clients to be able to create that.
I know if I can keep staying where I'm really, really good, like I know I make so many mistakes, bro. Like the amount of flights that I wrong book to the wrong day to the wrong place at the wrong time is astronomical. Yeah. I'm really, really good at like...
You get flexi flights?
Yeah, I do, but I still miss them, bro.
Yeah.
Like I missed one from Melbourne back to NZ the other day, and that's paid $7.50 at the... Like it was it. She put me in analog, like it was like 14:50, and I thought it was 5:50 p.m., not 2:50.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're definitely not turning left when you get on the flight when you...
Yeah. So I know I'm really, really good at like, now I've stepped into my lane of just like sales and promotion. So I don't want to do any delivery right now unless I really, really have to. Yeah. But that just gives the opportunity for the QSs and the managers to make more money and do more stuff.
Yeah.
And then if I can, hire Brendan to come on, and I said to him, everything, as soon as we hit 10,000 YouTube subs and IG, I'll put you on commission of income from ad spend. So he's like, fuck yeah, I want to work really hard and get that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my play.
People don't leave jobs, they leave opportunities and bosses, right?
For sure.
So if you can get out of the way of most people and paint a big opportunity and understand how their dream can fit within your ecosystem, then everyone can ultimately win. And like, what you're talking about there is also like finding your zone of genius and getting out of the way of areas that you don't enjoy. Like we do this exercise whenever we have an event and we go, all right, everybody put your hand up if you're a builder. And everyone puts their hand up because we work with professional builders. Yeah. But then we go, all right, and put your hand up if you're a business owner. Yeah. And everyone's like,
fuck, that's not me.
I meant to put my hand up there. Because like, if you're running a company, you need to like shift your identity a lot of the time. Yeah. From going like, I'm the guy that has to be on the tools or on site or running the projects or whatever. Like I'm a builder. No. You might have been a great builder. Yeah. And you might still be a great builder. But right now you're a business owner. Yeah. You're running a company, and that requires a slightly different skill set. And that might mean that you have to stop doing the things that you love, not always, but that are not necessary. Like it's relatively easy to go to the market and to find talent that can do some building works.
For sure.
It's very difficult to go to the market and find some talent that can sell your homes and sell your services. You might have to do more of that than being on the tools.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so
it's a hard transition for guys though, eh?
Yeah, really hard.
And it's so true that so many good builders just get offered all these jobs because they're really, really good builders.
Yeah.
But then how do you get the contracts signed up? How do you find the boys? How do you do the insurance?
Exactly.
How do you get the payments? How do you pay everyone on time?
And there's two different skill sets. These are skills like learning to run a business is not a skill set that you're taught when you're on your apprenticeship. It's not a skill that you're typically learning from your mentor as well, who's like, you know, the guy that your first employer or whatever. Like,
do you guys get many builders that are like co-partnerships, like one really good builder, one really good business owner?
We got a huge diverse mix of members. So like we've got members that are at it by themselves. We've got members that are at it with their life partner, so like wife or significant other. And then we've got members that are at it with their business partner that's normally like a bloke that they went into business with after they were working together for a number of years. The areas that we see it go wrong in partnerships is when they're actually good at the same thing. And they're just going like, they're basically running two businesses under the same umbrella. They're like, I'll run these sites and you run those sites.
But we'll all do a bit of this and this.
And it's like, no. Like you're got to like feed off of each other. You got to go, I'll do finances and marketing or finances and sales, and I'll do project management and timelining and estimating or something like that, or however you choose to divide it. You've normally got to like divide it up so that the sum of the parts is greater than the individual. Like you've actually got to like have some cohesion and dovetail quite nicely with one another. Because if you're doing this ultimately the same job, just I'm running these 4 sites and I'm running these 4 sites. I've seen some members that are coming and they're like, I'm running these sites, he's running those sites. And I get recommendations word of mouth, and then I'll do those ones. And I get and I'm like, why are you guys in business together?
You're like, just running your own separate entity.
Well, what is the benefit of this other than like you get to hang out with your best mate and like
chew the fat, smoke and chat on the phone when they catch up once a
like,
week.
Dude, you gotta like get real deliberate around what kind of business you're building. There's nothing wrong with building a $500,000, $2 million, $4 million, $10 million, $25 million building company. You just got to understand what one you want to build and then what's required for each one. Because like one of them requires like an office team, probably a show home, some sales and marketing expertise, and one of them requires just like real dialed in processes on a site level. And probably only like 1 to 5 jobs a year. Just different machine, like different kind of like makeups of the same machine.
Do you think guys find it hard to differentiate that? And like,
I think people always do, because very few people actually ever sit down to establish what business they want to build.
So no clear goals and objectives.
For example, one of the best exercises that you can probably do is like what we call a focus on the results exercise. We identify where you're at today, hours that you invest, role that you play, so like sales and marketing, for example, dollars that you draw as a salary, dollars that you draw as a profit distribution, type of work you do, margins that you do it at, how many jobs you've got, team structure, contractors, employees. We really establish like the unit economics and like the business that you've genuinely got today. And then we establish like the business that you want to build in the future. And normally the best way to go about that is work back from your 2 hard currencies of time and money. So where are you working and how many hours are you installing? And then how much are you drawing? Like what are you paying yourself and what profit distributions are you taking as well? Because if you've got ambitions of like, taking $1 million, let's just say, nice round number that's fairly chunky, dude, you're going to have to do certain things. So you're going to have to stop doing certain things that you were doing when you were just making half that, like 500 grand. And it's probably going to look like getting off the tools. It's probably going to look like being a better manager, recruiting better people, setting a vision for them so they can be successful and double their income.
It's a huge learning platform, man. Like it's so different for guys. And you can see how it's hard because they come from just being awesome builders. They build a real good house and then the neighbor comes and says, oh, we want a really good house in the other one. And they're like, fuck yeah, I'm a business owner now.
For sure.
So, I can see how it can be tough.
I agree. I suppose that's where they need people like yourself that try
and help streamline, and you guys as well. I feel like just try and streamline all the niggly processes. If a good builder can come and say, oh man, I got all these houses that I want to build, but I can't get pricing out, or I don't know how to, do all the payment scheduling. So we can help you with that.
Totally.
But then you guys can help with all the other growing pains as well.
So good.
Yeah.
So what trends do you see in like the industry? Like, what do you think that people should be looking at?
Man, right now I feel like if you're like a high school leaver or you're like a young guy at loose ends, go and get an apprenticeship, because I think they're going to make so much money in the next like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like literally. I definitely think guys that are wanting to get into QSing, this isn't to protect our own back, but that's going to be one of the first ones to go in the industry with AI and just the way technology is moving. But yeah, the amount of people not getting into the game and the amount of like older guys retiring will be, if you want to make real good money. I mean, plumbers now are getting surely like 150 minimum call out rate, which is pretty fucking good, man. Like 3 years after doing your training and you can get $150 an hour for a call out. And obviously I want builders rates to go up. I think builders rates are way too low for a 20-year liability. But in saying that, like their projects versus a builder's on site for potentially 12 months, a plumber's on site for maybe a week. So I do understand how the cost difference is there, but I think get into the trades 100%, man. Everyone wants the flashy e-commerce overseas lifestyle. It's most of them fail. 95% of them fail.
No, I couldn't agree more. I've seen so many of our members that have been paid to train. They've,
man.
You know, they come out with no student loan. Then they're in a position to have enough to put to some deposits, get some flips, get some builders terms and some builders rates on materials and stuff. You know, leverage that, and then all of a sudden they're like 35 and they've got, you know, they've sold a few, they've held a few, and they've got a beautiful property portfolio amongst a few other things.
I think, that's the other one as well, man. New Zealand's so obsessed with property and Australians, and I feel like the amount of money you can make off flips, and if you're getting everything at cost rate, and then you can take away the labor and do it yourself, and you can do a couple of long weekends and late nights, you can make a lot of money here. You can make it easy $100,000 a year on the side just doing the flips. So,
I think it's a huge opportunity for young kids as well. I totally agree.
Absolutely.
So good. Awesome, man. Well, dude, massively appreciate the yarn. Always good having you on the podcast.
Anytime, bro.
We love having you here. And we get heaps of members that use your service and say that it's phenomenal and it's rapid.
Yeah, man. Has to be rapid too.
Funny
Didn't call it RapidQS for no reason. I feel like people test us now. Like they'll inquire and I swear they're just sitting at their phone waiting for a reply to be like, pretty fucking slow, actually.
No, I see those screenshots that pop through every now and then then there's a comment at the end. Damn, that was quick. 4 minutes. Like, wow.
We've just got like a Uber rule. I want to be quicker than Uber. So,
I mean, that's interesting. It's kind of like, I love that. That's like those lagging and leading measures and indicators. Like, for example, you know, a good lagging indicator of success is I want to double my team's salaries.
Yeah, man.
A leading indicator of that is, you know, how many sales we make and what margin it's done at and stuff. But a real leading one is like, how quickly do we respond to inquiries? You know, like we've got a speed to lead method in our business, and we've got also like a speed to question when it's in the member success side. And you know, like ours is not 2 minutes, ours is 5 minutes, but maybe we should look at it being 2.
Man, I think we're on par with each other. But I think from a tradies perspective, like just imagine if a client leaves an inquiry in your email inbox, they're probably doing that to five companies. So if you can call back while they're filling out the next one and stop them from sending an inquiry out to someone else.
Very true.
Fuck, that could be a 200K reno, man. So speed is key. But I mean, there's so many other things, family, work-life balance, sport, blah, 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 blah. But I think there's a time in your life where you have to put a lot of that shit aside and just go all in 18 hours a day and just do your thing. Not saying just work, but
well, there's
depends what you want out of life,
right? You know, like sometimes there's nothing wrong with working hard as long as you're working hard on the right stuff.
For sure.
And that's why what we always say at the Professional Builders, like high margin businesses win. You got to identify the levers in your business. Like if you shouldn't be getting more leads if your sales conversion rate's at like 10%. You should be fixing your sales conversion rate. And you shouldn't be doing more work if your margins are at like anything lower than 20%. You should be getting higher margins. Because otherwise you're just going to run faster on the hamster wheel. And it's a fucking nightmare.
The sales process is one that I hamp on about all the time. Like if you're lacking in the sales stuff, just jump on YouTube, watch some Alex Hormozi, watch some Grant Cardone, watch some Gary Vee, and that will cover all your problems. That's where I've learned, man. So it's good.
So good. And you know, like if you're losing margin on a job, fix the systems on site. If you're losing margin before a job, fix the sales and marketing.
I can 100%. Go for hours, man. Incentivize your foreman, put some of your boys on some, you know, hey man, if you hit this by Friday, I'll give you an extra, whatever it is, man. Anything to stop you from going over your allocated hours, you've got to do it.
We've got members, last one. We've got members.
I could keep rolling with you.
I know, but we've got members that do like an incentive scheme based on hours saved of the allocation.
Yeah.
So like, let's assume it's 10 labor units.
Yeah.
And it's a fixed price contract. You're getting paid for all 10 of those labor units anyway.
Yeah.
But if the boys bring it in on, say, 8 labor units, you've saved 2 labor units. You're still getting paid for that, and they would achieve maybe a 20% bonus of the
time saved. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So they get to share in that bonus, but you can only do that if you're in a position to track and manage your hours and your labor. If you're not showing a scoreboard, to go right back to the beginning of the conversation, you don't have like a clear scoreboard to share with the guys and go like, are we ahead? Are we behind? Don't know. Then you can't delegate that responsibility to them to push on the timeline.
Yeah.
And you then can't incentivize them.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is it important for them to like track and update their timesheets and their labor hours? Well, because if you do it and we're accurate and we're dialed in together, then I can incentivize you and pay you more.
Yeah. I think that's the thing I realized with our labor spreadsheets, with the amount of detail we had. Like it would literally be every single line item from the site set out to the demolition, to the framing, to the cladding. And the boy, you could stamp it on site or put it in the like site meeting. And then the boys at the end of the day can literally see the labor hours for each task.
So good.
So at the end of the day, they see 22 hours allocated or whatever. And if they're done by 2 p.m., fuck, man, you just saved heaps of labor hours.
Totally.
So, detail and it's good. And transparency with your boys.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome, dude. Well, let's get you on a flight home.
Easy, bro.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. Legend. Shout out professional builder.